Chapter 12, Path of Devotion. Arjuna said, "Which of these has the best knowledge of yoga? Those ever steadfast devotees who thus worship you as Krishna, your personal aspect, or those who worship your impersonal aspect, the eternal being Brahma?" The Supreme Lord said, "I consider the best yogis to be those ever steadfast devotees, bhaktas, who worship with supreme faith by fixing their mind on me as their personal God. They also attain me who worship the unchangeable, the inexplicable, the invisible, the omnipresent, the inconceivable, the unchanging, the immovable eternal being, namely Brahma, restraining all the senses, even-minded under all circumstances, engaged in the welfare of all creatures." Self-realization is more difficult for those who fix their mind on the impersonal, unmanifest, eternal being, namely Brahma, because comprehension of the unmanifest by embodied beings is attained with difficulty. But for those who worship me with the unswearing devotion as their personal God, whose thoughts are set on my personal form, who offer all actions to me, intent on me as the Supreme, and meditate on me, I swiftly become their survivor from the world that is the ocean of death and transmigration. Therefore, focus your mind on me and let your intellect dwell upon me alone through meditation and contemplation. Thereafter, you shall certainly attain me. If you are unable to focus your mind steadily on me, then long to attain me, O Arjuna, by practice of spiritual discipline, sadhana, that suits you. If you are unable even to do any spiritual discipline, namely sadhana, then be intent on performing your duty for me. You shall attain perfection just by working for me as an instrument, just to serve and please me without selfish motives. If you are unable to work for me, then just surrender onto my will and renounce the fruits of all work with subdued mind by learning to accept all results as God's grace, namely prasad, with equanimity. The knowledge of scriptures is better than mere ritualistic practice. Meditation is better than scriptural knowledge. Tyaga, or renunciation of self-attachment, the fruits of work, is better than meditation. Peace immediately follows tyaga or renunciation. One is dear to me who does not hate any creature, who is friendly and compassionate, free from the notion of I and my, even-minded in pain and pleasure, forgiving, and the yogi who is ever content, whose mind and intellect are engaged in dwelling upon me, and who is devoted to me. One is also dear to me who does not agitate others and who is not agitated by them, who is free from joy, envy, fear, and anxiety. One who is desireless, pure, wise, impartial, and free from anxiety, who has renounced the doership in all undertakings. Such a devotee is dear to me. One who is desireless, pure, wise, impartial, and free from anxiety, who has renounced the doership in all undertakings. Such a devotee is dear to me. One who remains the same towards a friend or a foe, in honor and disgrace, in heat and cold, in pleasure or pain, who is free from attachment, who is indifferent to censure or praise, quiet, content with whatever one has, unattached to the place, tranquil and full of devotion, that person is dear to me. But those faithful devotees are very dear to me who set me as their supreme goal and follow the above mentioned nectar of moral values. Thus ends the 12th chapter named Path of Devotion of the Upanishads of Bhagavad Gita, the scripture of yoga, dealing with the science of the Absolute in the form of a dialogue between Lord Krishna and Arjuna.